Hughes. It's a great day in Harris County. We are moving forward with what I think to be a real transformational development in northwest Harris County. The partnership between the Texans, the county, and Howard Hughes, these kinds of opportunities, they don't come along every day. I'm going to put it in the category of, we had an opportunity to build a Houston ship channel, 51 miles. It changed everything. And I think this is that same type of deal. When you look at what exists up in Frisco, what the Dallas Cowboys, not that I like to reference that on occasion, but I think when you see what they've done up there in terms of a practice facility, their headquarters, it seems like that the Texans are only one of 3 teams that have their headquarters at the stadium. So it's probably the standard in at least the NFL that there's good reasons why you don't do that, but there's also good reasons, I think, to bring the Texans to the community. And with a practice facility out there, you're going to have the athletes, you're going to have the Texans, they're going to be there in the community, and the other benefits that Commissioner Briones will cover in great detail of what it means to have that in our collective precincts is great. The other thing I would say, the development of infrastructure right now, when you see, for example, on the east side of Harris County, in the next 10 years, 18,000 homes are going to be constructed east of Lake Houston. And so we'll have to plan that over time and organize. When you are able to sit down and clearly define exactly what's going to happen, your mobility, your drainage, your details, all those kinds of things, I think can be done in a very organized and planned facility. So I'm excited for what this is going to do to infrastructure on West Harris County. Mr. Briones.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner Ramsey, for your partnership. Today is a great day to live in Harris County. First of all, our beloved Houston Texans are staying here at home in Harris County. Their future headquarters, as well as their practice facility, will be in northwest Harris County. This is exciting not only because we love our Texans, but we, through this public-private partnership, this is a transformative economic development opportunity and project that we are accomplishing together. Number one, it will create jobs. It will create good paying jobs, and they will be focused on hiring locally. Number two, we will have land to have a county services hub, an annex with multiple county services in the heart of this Toro district. This is important to make it easier for folks, whether it is registering to vote, filing taxes, changing vehicle registration, and this is extra important in this area, which is one of the fastest growing areas in the United States of America. There will be approximately a 300% population growth in the coming couple of decades in this northwest corridor. The infrastructure improvements that Commissioner Ramsey spoke of, key corridors in this area of 290 and 99, including undercrossings, including additional parks for our community, including trails, sidewalks, and beyond. These are key corridors, and we need to make sure our infrastructure is keeping up with this rapid growth. Additionally, as a former teacher and as a mom of 3 little kids, I'm incredibly excited that this public-private partnerships creates opportunities for our students and families throughout Harris County, and especially in Cy-Fair ISD as well as Waller ISD. There will be internships for our students. There will be sports programming. There will be access to using these fields, whether it's for practice in the stadium, for graduations, and beyond. We also, again, focusing on good jobs, good paying jobs. There will also be a goal for apprentices. And we are just very excited that we will be able to invest in our community, in jobs, in education, in training, and fun, right? This is going to be a very vibrant center for Northwest Harris County, and it will be the catalyst and the anchor of the economy in that region for decades to come. So it's been an absolute pleasure to get to work with my colleague, Commissioner Ramsey, as well as the Houston Texans and Howard Hughes and all of our teams to make today's item that we passed at court passed unanimously, might I add, to move forward from the MOU now to digging in and making this a reality for Harris County.
Any
Questions?
So with this MOU, is this officially a done deal, or what's kind of the next step?
Well, there's a lot of details. Right now, you have a great framework. You've got private investments, you've got the Texans investments, you got the county. And so you've got a good, I think, map of where we're gonna go next. Now we have to go work through a lot of the details, but it's important to have the MOU on paper. So now we know where we're headed. The Texans have a good idea of where they're headed. Certainly Howard Hughes, as they plan for their city center. And again, I said that in court, but if you look at the Woodlands, what it was 40 years ago, that's a glimpse into what this is going to be 20 years from now, and in a planned and organized manner, not in some random. So this is the necessary first step, but I think it's going to move forward very, very rapidly at this point.
One detail we haven't heard about is money. It was discussed that TERS money would be used for this. Can you give us any details on how much county taxpayer money would be going towards this? And not just about those facilities, but specifically how much taxpayer money would be going to build that headquarters for the Texans?
So in terms of the headquarters, zero. In terms of the county financing, it will all be through the TERS, and additional details will be coming soon. We'll actually, in a couple of weeks, be having a very big announcement with additional details, and so, but yes.
So the
we're
county
very
is not
focused.
spending any money on the Texans training facility. The Texans are putting the entire bill on that?
The Texans are.
Right.
Yep. And the Texans and Howard Hughes have been hard at work between the two on their respective investments.
Ours is real infrastructure.
Infrastructure
Okay.
focused, key roads, key corridors, and this services hub that I'm so excited and grateful for.
You said that we're able to keep the Texans here, or Texans aren't going anywhere. Did the Texans threaten to leave Harris County if this was not done?
There was no, the conversations have been more of, hey, what if? And we took a what if, and we've ended up here today. It was just the most encouraging thing from that standpoint. No, this was not Bud Adams 2.0. This was a very three-party, I think this will be good for Harris County, this will be good for Howard Hughes, this will be good for the Texans. And the spirit of these conversations have been totally in that category.
And I'll add to that, I agree 100%. It has been incredibly collaborative and synergistic, and the reality is that other counties and other areas absolutely want our beloved Texans, and you're always trying to woo them away, but they will be staying here at home, and again, to have their headquarters and practice facility in the heart of one of the fastest growing areas, not only of the county, but in the country, is incredibly energizing.
Talking about the timeline and what's next, I know you said that you have that event in a couple of weeks where you're going to make more announcements, so I hope I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but what's the timeline as far as, what you can control? When are we going to see, folks actually being able to get out there and use the community center and folks like that? What's the process going to look like for that?
Well, I think you've got, obviously, the first step is to get the details related to the practice facility, fine tune that, get that exactly right. Where is the county separate facility? And Commissioner Briones and I, we really were focused on that. We want to see. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like Sugar Land, if you know that city hall there, but it's something where people are not near downtown. They are in areas, there's more people live in unincorporated Harris County than live in the city of Houston. They need to have access to those services near where they live. This is what this is. I hope this can be a template of what else we can do in other parts of the county. But in this case, we can move forward. I can tell you this also, having seen a few public-private partnerships, private folks move at a much faster rate than county. So they're going to be interested in getting things done sooner rather than later. This announcement today, they're going, that is their message to move forward. I'm talking about Howard Hughes. This gives the Texans, let's move forward with the next level of details to get this thing done. So it's probably going to move more rapidly than any of us would expect, but I don't want to give a date to it at this point, but the process has begun.
And just to clarify, is this new practice facility completely replacing the current ones that are near NRG, and what's going to happen to that area?
Just a thought. We've had lots of conversations on NRG, and Commissioner Briones is just as excited about what could happen there.
Mhm.
And I look forward to having that conversation at the appropriate time. But I think it's important to know where the practice facility is going to be in the future. That opens up that entire area. We've got 300, Commissioner Brown has 340 acres out at NRG. It's the largest acreage of any sports facility, I think, in America.
In the country.
So we have a lot of great opportunities there, but this allows clear communications on an important decision that was needed to be made by the Texans. Does impact, obviously, going forward what happens out there. But just like the Cowboys and what they do at Frisco, if you know anything about the Star up in that part of the area, Google that and what that's meant for the areas, the communities surrounding that. So I think you can count on much of all the practice activities taking place there, but I don't own an NFL team, so I don't know what else might be involved, but most of the effort, day-to-day practices will take place out there.
Quick question, so I know that over time, a lot of people have been curious about updates that could have been made to NRG or facilities in that area. So for the people who are wondering why Northwest Harris County instead of near NRG, how would you answer that?
I would say that we have bold plans in the works. We're working very collaboratively with both the Houston Texans and the rodeo to plan the future of that NRG complex. So stay tuned, more to come in the coming months.
A lot of people in the Cypress area, they have a lot of concerns about road congestion, easement, and that exists before this development has started. So how is the county prepared to handle additional concerns as this development
We'll
is
defer
underway?
to our expert engineer,
this
but the
is
bottom
very
line is
important.
this helps us address it more quickly.
Okay.
I mean, by setting up the TERS, now you have an opportunity to plan what can happen with Peak Road, or what can happen with Jackrabbit Road, or other mobility issues out there. We just announced in Precinct 3 last week, we got bids on the greenhouse tunnel that crosses over at Skinner Road. People are celebrating in the streets of Cypress today because we're able to do that. Well, with a plan on the table, major thoroughfares can be done and not wait till more of a granular, well, we get 15 more homes built, maybe we can start on that bridge. It really allows us to accelerate by decades what is going to happen from infrastructure, transportation, mobility in particular.
Do we know where exactly the site of this new 30 or 83?
Stay tuned. More
property will be?
details will be shared in a couple weeks at the big event with Howard Hughes and the Texans.
Okay, so we don't have any streets or boundaries or anything like that as of right now?
It will be shared soon.
Have the Texans indicated that by them taking this step forward, that they do intend to stay in Houston? Because as late as last year, Cal McNair was saying that he was looking for renovations at NRG. He said that the team is exploring all options when it comes to a stadium. Have you gotten any reassurance with them moving forward with this project that maybe they're going to stay put in Houston, in Harris County?
Those have been really two separate conversations, and I can tell you nothing but positive conversations over the last 18 months plus between the rodeo and the Texans and the county. It is clear that we are moving forward as a team, the Texans, the rodeo, and the county. No one's ever brought up, at least in those meetings, anything but that. What can we do here and how can we do it? Obviously, this does impact that in terms of, I think, a pretty bold statement by the Texans. It's a real commitment by the McNair family that we want our headquarters, and we know now where we want our headquarters. So I take this nothing but positive in terms of what's coming down the pike at NRG. And that's, I think, is going to be encouraging as we work out those details as well.
Yes, and I too see this as an incredibly positive, encouraging commitment to choose Harris County to be your headquarters and practice facility, and then to create more opportunity to be extra creative at NRG. I take that as a very positive sign, and it's been, again, just very synergistic and collaborative, and I'm just thrilled they decided to keep the headquarters and practice facility here at home.
What would you say to someone that may say, you say that the Texans are paying for the facility, but it's still semantics. Ultimately, taxpayers are going to be paying for infrastructure and other things in that area. So what would you say to someone, say, we'd rather see that money be used for other things instead of the Texans, which Forbes says Ms. McNair is valued at more than $7 billion. So why is the county putting in money for this project and not other areas?
I think when you have people willing to invest in Harris County, and I consider what the Texans are going to do an investment in Harris County. They're going to spend some money creating that incredible state-of-the-art practice facility. There'll be Friday night lights there. There'll be volleyball games there. There'll be all kinds of entertainment that will happen in that area. And I think them willing to invest in Harris County for Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes could invest anywhere. For them to make this kind of commitment and investment in Harris County is great. I really consider what we're doing, this is what the county does anyway. We do the roads, we do the mobility, we do the drainage. That is part of what we do anyway. This is going to set it on a very defined program and schedule rather than being more or less as the development happens, this will be more planned.
I agree.
I know the Houston Texans have obviously been pushing for having a separate field house than where they play. I think there might be people who hear about what's happening at NRG Stadium and say, oh great, we're going to have Astrodome 2.0, another facility that's not being utilized. What would you say to folks who may have that concern?
I'd say stay tuned, because a bold vision of what will be at NRG is forthcoming.
Thank you, press.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.